welcome to another Junk Journal with Me series. I'm going to start this one off talking to you directly because I wanted to share something with you that I found at a recent flea market visit. So I've had these a few weeks now. These are letters and they are all to the same lady. A lot of them I cannot read because I can't read that handwriting, but some of them I can. And there's this one here that I thought I would include in today's episode, and I just put this washi over the name just for privacy reasons, even though it's from 1954. You know, that family could still, or it hopefully is still alive. And yeah, I just think it's respectful to not show the name. So this is an envelope that came from a hotel in the first district in the city, in the center of Vienna. And it was written by an Italian saying that, here you can see the date, it was September 1954, and I'm just blocking out her name. So he's writing to her saying that a while ago she had applied for a job with his business partner for the position of a private secretary. Now he is in Vienna, and if she still is interested in the position, she should call him and should suggest a time to meet, and so that they can discuss more about the position. And then he's just giving the time, what times he would be available during the day. And so then this here is his business card. So he is from Milano. And yeah, so I don't know if she actually wrote him back. I don't know if she got a job with him. So I would love to know, obviously, but I guess I will never find out. But it's a lovely piece of memorabilia that I want to keep in my journal. And I don't really want to do too much to the envelope because obviously it is vintage, and I kind of just want to keep it as it is, except there is one thing I want to do, and maybe there'll be something else, but I don't want to decorate it too much. But one thing I thought I could do, which might be nice, is to put a wax seal here. So I thought I would use this green, turquoise green wax, because the postage stamp is green. I mean, it's not the same green, but it's the closest thing I have. So, and I'm gonna use this beautiful bee seal. Oops, sorry. Yeah, so I'm going to do that.
I once felt I'm done with the defense. Drove back and climbed over your fence. Had to show you that I was a mess. So you were shrugging your shoulders. I'm closed off. That's what I told you. Soon enough.
The other thing I thought I could do is to include some way of showing what this lady would have maybe worn for business occasions. And if you've seen previous videos with my previous junk journal from March, you may remember this magazine from 1941 with Viennese summer fashion for ladies. And in it was, for example, this here where I already cut one of the ladies out, and I thought maybe I could use her. So she basically could be that lady that is applying for this private secretary position. And so I thought, let's try to make a tag using her and include it in the envelope. So I'm starting off by cutting out that image roughly, and now I'm just going to cut it down to have straight edges and to have the correct shape for a tag, whatever that might be. And then I also wanted to cut out this title which says Wiener Kleider number 14, meaning Viennese clothes or dresses, because in German it's the same word. Kleider is both dresses and clothes. So I'm guessing in this case probably it means clothes, because the patterns are also for coats. So now I have both of those cut out, and surprise, surprise, I'm inking up the edges. And then I saw that on the other page, or on the other side, there were these measurements and instructions for the patterns. So I thought that would be actually cool to include on the tag as well, and I could put that on the back side of the tag. As a tag base, I'm going to use my regular beige marbled cardstock. I received this locally. These were scraps from some certificates we used to print at school, so I cannot tell you where to get this, unfortunately. So I was just kind of seeing how big it has to be based on what I'm putting on it, and now I'm just cutting those two upper edges to make it, or corners, to make it look like a tag. Somehow they didn't look equal, so I just kind of tried to adjust them. I don't know if they are equal now, but they will do. And now I'm just going to glue those two on the front, the other one on the back. Really like this simple look. I think, you know, when you have beautiful ephemera, it doesn't take much to make it pretty. Like, you don't have to do a lot to it to make it work. So that's what I love, having beautiful stuff. And I wanted to add some kind of a topper to it. So this is my jar of some scraps of upholstery fabric that I usually would use to cover, like, I mean, the scraps I would use for maybe tabs in journals, but the bigger pieces I used for covers for traveler's notebooks, which I haven't done in quite a long time. And I found this gray one that kind of works with the gray of her outfit. So I was just trimming that down because it was a bit too wide and also too long. So I'm just going to make that smaller as well. And then I'm going to use a method to attach it, which I have been suggested by the lovely Maud on Instagram. She contacted me and sent me a photo of how she did it on one of her tags with some lace using an eyelet, and I actually have never thought of that before, so thank you so much, Maud. This is awesome. I don't think it's exactly how you did it. I think you just had the lace on one side of the tag, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure now, but I decided to just put it through the whole thing, and I actually love how that turned out. So thank you for showing me another method which I can now share with all of you lovely people. So yeah, so that's the tag, and it fits in the envelope, and now we just have to put that envelope into the journal. And I'm trying to look for a page or two pages where I might like it to be in between, and I love this one because on the right hand side, it's covered now. It has some scripty writing, so I thought that would go well with a letter. And this washi I'm using, I cannot link, unfortunately, because I have no clue where I got this. I've had this for a really long time, but the reason I'm using this particular one is because it's a fabric washi, and in general, they tend to stick a lot better than the regular washies. So that's why I wanted to try this one. And there we go. So that's the first part of this episode. Now I think I'm going to be doing some more things in this journal. Yes, and I found one of these beautiful pieces that sorry that I was sent with Happy Mail, and it's actually a like a time card for work, which I received from the lovely Bea. You might remember in another spread in my previous journal, I used another part of it to make a pocket and a tag. So now I'm going to use this other piece that's left as a pocket. So I just glued that in, and now I wanted to put in two things. One was this beautiful bird book page from Tamami, and I wanted to include one of these bird images that I had gotten quite a long time ago from Miyuki. And I thought what I would do would put one of these bird images on the back of this printed doily, which is one of Johanna Clough's printable doilies. I will link her website below where you can get these. And that worked very well with the size. And so I'm just inking all around that edge, and it was kind of weird because that paper that I printed it on is it's like a pretty heavy paper and a pretty glossy one, so the inking kind of looked weird on it, but I think I go over it one more time just because it was a bit weird. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but it was okay, and I loved that it was sturdy. And I wanted to add a little word on it, so I'm looking here in my little cigar box with my printed words that I just printed out. Like I typed some words in a Word document and I printed them out on coffee stained paper. So I'm deciding to go for this piece one, and I'm just going to stick that on. And I'm going to add it to this beautiful pocket. So now I have two bird images in there. So I love it. All three things are from 3 different Happy Mails. And the third page I'm going to be working on is going to have these 2 butterflies, which I actually was going to throw away. These are well, basically this is a leftover from 2 die cuts that I used, and rather than throwing it away, I actually ended up saving it, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but now I decided I'm going to back it with some fabric because I think that looks actually very nice. So I found 2 different floral fabrics in my stash that I thought looked very pretty, but I didn't like that page I chose first, so I'm now looking for another page, and I like this one a lot better. And I'm just going to cut those down to size. I'm going to use a neon color pencil. This was just a random colored pencil I had in my stash, and one day I tried it and was happy to find out it works on fabric as well. So I'm just going to be then using my tacky glue to glue those onto the coffee stained paper, and then to just glue that onto the page. And then you will see I'm going to be writing a heading. I'm going to use some more coffee stained paper, and I'm going to write a heading on it. And I'm actually going to write it in my own handwriting, which I usually don't do. I usually would stamp it. But I was watching Joie de Fin's video last Saturday, and she was right in saying that you should include your own handwriting even if you don't like it, because it documents your handwriting, and also it will look nice in the end because it's just a part of you, and I think you actually should have it in your journal. And what I'm going to be writing as a title is actually of a site that we have here in Vienna, which is very beautiful, and it's called the Imperial Butterfly House. I will actually link that site below just in case you want to find out more about it. And it's part of the Hofburg Royal Palace here in Vienna, and they have live butterflies in there, and you can walk around there. And the funny thing is, I looked at the German and the English websites, and the German one says that they have about 500 live butterflies, but the English version says 400 live butterflies. Now, the only way I can explain that is that only 400 out of the 500 actually speak English. The other 100 only speaks German, which is why they're not mentioned on the English website. I don't know any other explanation. So here you see me measuring that coffee dyed paper for that title, and I'm going to be using a corner punch. If I find a link for it, because I currently don't know where I got it from, then I will link it below. And after punching those corners, it looked a bit weird, those two smaller sides, so I had to correct them a little bit with my scissors. And in a moment after I write that title, you're going to actually see some photos of this beautiful butterfly house, the outside, the inside, and then some of the butterflies they have. It's really, really nice. So if you ever manage to come to Vienna, I think this is one of the things you should not miss if you have the time. Okay, so now I'm ready to glue down that title, and as I said before, I wanted to add one of the butterflies, and I choose the smaller one, and I'm just going to glue that one down as well, and that concludes the third page for today. So hope you got some new inspiration. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
There's no going back, no going back. There's no going back to your old life. Not living in the past, we're over that. I'm feeling it tonight, riding on the dizzying high.